you watching this, you are able to release yourself from those problems, from those patterns, from those things that have become your name and your mark. The situations in your life that you have decided to create an identity through those situations. You say, I am the angry one, I am the sad one, I'm the one with the resting bitch face, I'm the one who doesn't care. And those situations have become a cycle, a pattern, and a problem, and you feel trapped day in and day out. Any bad thing that happens in your life, think about how you speak onto it and what you respond onto it. And there are people that have plants in their house and they say, all the time when I buy plants, the plants die. I am not a plant mother. That is the energy that you're giving. And the energy that you're giving onto that plant, the energy in your environment and in your house is right there in front of you and is coming through that very plant. I used to wonder why the same bad things kept befalling me. I had relationships that repeatedly ended badly, money that never built up in my bank account, friendships would make me very uncomfortable. My thoughts would never ever stop on how bad I was, how I would never succeed in life. I was living in this cycle, I was living in this pattern, and I was in denial. I can admit that I moved from job to job. I've worked as a waitress, I've worked in room service, I have worked in a law firm as well, I have worked in care, I have helped the elderly, I have helped the people with learning disabilities. I've moved from job to job, but in all this I have a law degree. I did a diploma in law, I went to university, I did law, I even went ahead and I did a master's, but I kept on finding myself trapped in the thoughts of I could never amount to be that person in that law firm. I could never amount to be that person that would see myself getting that big paycheck or being that 9-to-5 girl. I felt like I was doomed. I always felt this need that I needed to explain myself to friends. I needed to explain myself to family, to explain myself why I'm choosing to do this and not to do that. It was a pattern that I never ever thought I would come out of. But at some point in my life, that's when I woke up and I realized that life is not exactly what I perceive it to be. I don't have to keep giving into the same patterns that keep befalling me. It's all my own choices that have led me to where I am. It's the choices that I have made that have led me to these situations. Because in the past month, I have felt like I was in this negative cycle all over again, rethinking my life again, rethinking everything about myself again. It always tends to happen when it's coming to the end of the year, when I look back at where I wanted to be and I'm not where I am, and then another year is adding on, then the patterns start again, and I think to myself, here we go again. If this resonates with you, if you're this kind of person that goes through the same patterns, then I am here to tell you that this video is going to suit you perfectly. You have to remember, we live in a quantum universe where energy is reciprocated, and those unfortunate events, those things that happen in your life are no accident at all. Believing that you have failed and believing that you are doomed is a poverty mindset. And guess what? The universe recognizes this. The energy that you're producing is being returned to you. The things that you say out loud in the negative cycle, in the negative energy, are being said back to you. Everything you say out loud to the universe will come back to you. Bad luck is not just bad luck. Sometimes it's scenarios that you have envisioned. This is why sometimes you think to yourself and you say, oh, finally, I knew this was going to happen. It's not because of anything, but it's because of the energy that you gave the universe that has got back to you. Bad luck is not just bad luck. You've already imagined that bad luck. When you are reliving the same problems over and over again, like a hamster on a treadmill, like your problems cycle through over and over again, you need to understand that this is a sign and a signal that is telling you that something is not going well and something is wrong and something needs to change. Your choices matter. You have free will. Every single time the same problem, the same situation cycles back to you, you can make a choice to respond in a better way. Remember, the choice is up to you. The way you respond can change the situation or the problem. One of the most prominent books that I've read in Sadhguru's new book, he said, my past choices, whether in this life or in my past life or from others, have created my current reality. Your choices each minute, each second, each hour, a choice to do and not to do adds up and sums up. At the end of the day, it builds up and it creates the reality in which you're living. There are situations where I have chosen to stay trapped and constricted within the events of my life that happened, events that I expected them to happen a certain way, but they ended up happening a different way. Always feeling sorry for myself, reacting to anger with all the problems that I had. Some of those problems I've chosen to bubble them up. Some of those problems I have chosen not to speak about them. And those same very things happened over and over again. But in situations where I have chosen to react to these things in a whole different way, releasing myself from that pattern of not talking about it, not expressing how I feel, or dooming myself, or creating a mark on myself, or limiting myself just because of the past event, I have created a new path that helps me open up, that breaks a cycle. Something becomes a cycle because you do it over and over again, but when you break the cycle, it stops being a pattern. So choosing how you react to your situations, choosing how you react to all the cycles and all the problems that are happening in your life plays a tremendous change in your life. And I am a good example of all those things that have happened to me. You watching this, you are able to release yourself from those problems, from those patterns, from those things that have become your name and your mark. There are situations in your life that you have marked yourself with. There are situations in your life that you have decided to create an identity through those situations. You say, I am the angry one, I am the sad one, I'm the one with the resting bitch face, I'm the one who doesn't care, I'm the one who thinks happen to me bad luck, or I'm the one when I drive here, there is always traffic, I'm the one every time I get money, the money disappears in my account. You've created an identity of your own self through those situations, and those situations have become a cycle, a pattern, and a problem, and you feel trapped day in and day out, and you never ever find a way out of this. Another thing I'm going to say is that you've allowed yourself to stay in the cycle, in the problem that you are in right now. Remember, when a problem faces you, there is always a choice. Your reaction to it will determine whether your karma is released, or whether you have to repeat this same experience. You have allowed this cycle of problems to continuously carry on in your life because of how you've reacted to them, because of how you've dealt with them. There is something that I always say, and it is allow yourself to feel pain, allow yourself to feel that situation, that bad thing, that bad luck that's happened to you, but do not stay in it too long, because the longer you stay in it, the more other problems pile up and the more other scenarios happen to you. You can rise above your problems if you choose to do so. You'll be watching this and saying that if I have the power to change the situation, then I wouldn't be in this same situation again. I cannot change the situation. I don't have the power to change it. There is a famous saying that says that if you cannot control something, do not spend your time on that particular thing. And that is a very, very good example of saying that if you cannot handle something, if something is out of your hands, if this problem is something that you can't solve in this very minute, you can't solve in this very hour, there is no point of you dwelling and being in that situation. But you can rise above that situation by saying, this has happened to me right now, but this is not going to determine my next move. I can rise above this situation by speaking positively about this situation, by saying that it doesn't matter what has happened, I am still alive, and tomorrow is another day for me to change this thing, to come out of this cycle. Think about a situation whereby you have reacted with anger or self-destruction. After that has happened, you don't learn from that experience. Become bitter, resented, or resentful of your own self. And if you decide to change how you react to that situation, for example, someone has said something very angry to you, or there is something that is happening in your life and you decide to walk away from it, your inner power will rise up within yourself, and you will release something within yourself that will tell you that you have got the power, you have got it in you to walk away. Not reacting to that situation, not allowing that thought to control you, and you rising above that thought will give you the power you never knew you had, or will give you the power that you never knew you needed. But you have to remember this, it's so easy to give into your emotions because you're programmed to give a response to that kind of situation or that kind of problem or that kind of thought in that very way. You are staying in an endless cycle of your problems because you have decided to take the easy way out. Choosing not to react, choosing to fight your thoughts of those negative things that happen, or that negative habit or those negative cycles, is because you have chosen the easiest way. Get angry, ignore it, doom yourself, limit yourself, talk bad about yourself, put down yourself, suppress your thoughts, label yourself, because that's the easy way out. But if you choose to fight those thoughts, it is hard. It's not an easy way. It is something that is very difficult. And because it's very difficult, we tend to run away from it. But when you choose the hard route, you are able to break those cycles and those problems, because the hard route is going to lead you to a better route. You walk through the mud in order for you to get to the surface that there is no mud. You go through the rain, which is not a beautiful thing, but at the end of the day, there is always sun, there is always, beautiful things and beautiful weather. It never lasts forever. Nothing in this world lasts forever, but you choose how you want to react and how you want to change it, because that is your healing. That is your power. The universe works with you to help you heal. Your trials, your hardships, your problems are your greatest. When the universe keeps giving you opportunities to break free with healing, take it. Sometimes the world keeps presenting you with difficult situations, difficult things, because it's molding you into a better person. If you're giving into that pain, if you're giving into that cycle, if you're giving into those negative thoughts, you are letting yourself down for the process of healing, for the process of learning, for the process of growth. The universe that we live in works with you to make you a better person. This universe gets the energy that you give it and works with that energy that you give it to make you a better person. So always be careful of the energy that you're giving into the world and the energy that you expect to get back. I always say this thing, that you don't expect to invest a penny and expect to get back 100,000. If you put a penny in, expect less than a penny back in, because the little that you put in is what you're going to expect back. So you have to remember this. If you want things to happen in your life, you have to speak life into them. There is a very good example I can give you. There are people that say when you have a plant in your house, when you speak life into that plant really grows healthy and fruitful, and it doesn't dry out, and it's so beautiful. And there are people that have plants in their house and they say, all the time when I buy plants, the plants die. I am not a plant mother. I can never see myself buying a plant. I water it all the time. I do whatever I want to do, but nothing ever happens. So I keep buying plants here and there. I wait for it to dry out and I buy another plant. That is the energy that you're giving. And the energy that you're giving onto that plant, the energy in your environment and in your house is right there in front of you, and it's coming through that very plant. So it's important that if you give the universe healing, if you give the universe things that you give it, that's the only way that you're going to become a better person. And you have to try as much as you can to watch your mouth and the things that you say about any bad situation that happens in your life, any sad situation, any bad thing that happens in your life. Think about how you speak onto it and what you respond onto it. This is why sometimes in life you're given hard choices. Hard choices are not because you are doomed in this life. Some choices in your life are there to help you. Traumatic situations are sometimes your lesson, your scar, your growth, your mark that you have created. Being in a cycle every single day is not something that is ever going to take you anywhere, and it's something that is never going to lead you to anything better. Always detach yourself away from negative thinking. Easy said than done, because negative thinking is something that you can't just get rid of. Your thoughts are part of you, and sometimes it's hard to filter what is your negative and what is your positive. You just find yourself in a mix of both negative and positive situations. But every single time you find yourself thinking about any negative thought, ask yourself some questions. What am I worried about? Is it likely that this thing that I'm worried about will come true? What is the worst that could happen if this thing that I'm worried about comes true? Despite my worry, am I likely to be okay in a week's time, or a month, or a year? Once you recognize your negative thoughts, you can well manage them to reduce the impact on your well-being, because negative thoughts put you in a negative cycle which affects your well-being as a person. By paying attention to your thoughts, every single time you start thinking about something negative and you're in a quiet, silent place, stand up, start walking, read something, or get your phone and watch something, or start talking to someone randomly. You will be breaking that cycle of that negative thought without even you knowing. When you isolate yourself, when you are in that negative situation or that negative thought, you are creating a room in which that negative thought is going to breed. The negative cycle is going to carry on, because a negative thought leads to a negative reaction. When you negatively think, you're going to wake up late. You're going to just go downstairs, maybe order pizza, then feel bad for ordering pizza, then watch something and feel bad for not doing that work, and then tomorrow it will happen again and again and again and again until you are in a situation of darkness that you feel that you cannot come out of. So, breaking a negative cycle comes down to your choice. You can choose not to give into anger, sadness, defeat, confusion, and fear. All by your choice, all by your reactions, all by anything that you set out to the world. Everybody has problems. Everybody has something that they're going through. Just because you don't see that thing, just because you don't be around people who are going through that thing, it doesn't mean that they are not going through something. I am going through things that you probably do not know. You are going through things that I probably do not know. Your neighbor, your friend, the person that you're working with that is looking good or is coming in on time, dressing well, that friend that is always looking perfectly okay and everything is okay. They are going through something and they're not saying it to you. So every single time you think that you're the only one in that negative cycle, no, remember this. You are not alone, but you can choose. You can choose and choose how you're going to react to that situation. You can choose how you can react to that person saying something negative, to that job that you haven't got, to that opportunity that you have missed, to that holiday, to that trip, to that money, to everything. You can choose how you react to it by changing the narrative. Life is not a bed of roses. If it was a bed of roses, I'm telling you, everybody would be lying in those roses. So remember this. Everybody is going through something. You have a choice in your life. Thank you for making a choice to watch this video. I really appreciate it. And next time you're ever in a negative cycle, come back and watch this particular video. It will help you to remind you that, you know what? You've got a choice to get yourself out of this. There is nobody that will ever get you out of that negative thought, that negative situation, those problems, that karma, that bad luck, apart from you who is watching this very video. Have a great time. Do not forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment, and let's discuss. Bye.